Hey guys, this is Landon. I'm back with some more lessons for guitar. Today I'm just going to go over some basic chords in the key of G. And you might say, why are you going over some chords? Well, the way I like to teach it to where an instrument to where you can start learning theory. You can learn, like for instance in the guitar, soloing, and you can learn chords and how to play a song all around the same time. And that way you can progress at your own pace. And you can also pick maybe more what you want to concentrate on from the very beginning and then add things on. For an example, as a guitar player, there's rhythm, and you can play it on acoustic rhythm, you can play rhythm on the electric, or you can be more of a lead guitarist with solos and stuff like that. As you get in from the beginning, if you're introduced, my theory is, into all of it at the beginning, you can kind of say, all right, I'm naturally good at maybe soloing. I have the ear for that, but I'm not with all the fingering yet. So I'll concentrate more on solo right now and then work on the chord progressions and stuff like that later, or vice versa. So I like teaching all slowly up front. So what we're going to do is I'm going to give you some chords in the key of G, and that is so it gives you something to work with. You can start in the key of G with soloing. If you haven't seen the major or pentatonic scale video, go look at that to get you started. And then you can also use these chords to play, just work around with playing different songs. I'll give you later on some songs that you can use with these chords to play. But you can also just strum between the two of them to get used to it, or a few of them. So I'm going to teach you 5 chords. And these are just basic chords that are used in a lot of different songs, okay? Nothing too fancy. The first is just your basic G chord, or the way I play G chord, okay? I'm going to show you the way I play it for ease, for sound, and all of that. So G, I will also do a key of C to give you both ends of the spectrum of the scale, so that you know you can sing in either one of those 2 keys usually, okay? So G. All right, I've got my middle finger is on the 3rd fret, which is the G note on the E string closest to me. I've got my 1st finger on the B note on the A string, which is 2nd fret on the A string. And then I've got my ring finger on that 3rd fret on your B string, and my pinky 3rd fret on the E string. So those there. And now I will tell you this, for most of the chords, those are going to stay right there. These 2 fingers right here are going to stay there and not move when I play in the key of G, of how I play, okay? So G chord, okay? Now when I'm going to play a C, I'm actually going to play a C2 chord in the key of G. And what I'm going to simply do is I'm going to take these 2 fingers, my index and my middle finger, and I'm just going to move them down a string. So now my middle finger is on the 3rd fret on the A string, and my pointer finger's on the 2nd fret on the D string, and I'm not going to play the top string of the E string, okay? And that all of a sudden becomes a C2. So you got a G, C, you can hear the change in that. So there's your C. E minor 7 chord. I'm not going to, there's a basic E minor, but I like playing the E minor 7 for the fullness, and it's actually easy. What you're going to do is you're going to take these 2 fingers, okay? Leave your ring and index still on the same frets and strings, and you're going to take your pointer finger and move it to the 2nd fret on the A string, and then your middle finger is 2nd fret on the D string, and that's your E minor 7 chord, and you strum all the strings, because open string E, okay? So we got G, we got C, we got E minor, okay? Now we're going to go to a D chord. I don't strum the top string, okay? The A string, the D string are open. There's nothing on them. I only have 3 fingers on the last 3 strings. So let's start with the G string, 2nd fret, okay? And then 3rd fret for the B string with my ring finger, and then my middle finger is on the 2nd fret on the very last string, your E string. So it's kind of making a triangle right there. You can kind of make a triangle with your fingers. And if you want to throw a little lick, you can make it a sustain because it's the fifth note of the scale, the fifth chord of the scale, which we'll get into that more about why this makes sense. But you can add that pinky back on to that string. You notice this ring finger hasn't moved. It's still there from all the strings. I just lifted up the pinky. But you can add that pinky back down over it and take it off and on to go back and forth between the sustained D note and the regular D major chord. So D, sustain, back to D. So when you're strumming, it adds a little to it. You see the difference. And then the last note or chord I'm going to show you is actually it's a D major chord over an F sharp bass. So usually when a guitar plays this, the guitar player would just play the D chord, and the bass player would play the F sharp note. I'm going to show you how to play both. Okay, that's what it sounds like. Your pointer finger is on the F sharp. Okay. Which is the second fret on your E string. You're going to skip 2 strings, the A and D, and nothing's going to be on there. And then your middle finger is going to be on the second fret on the G string. And then the last 2 are going to be the same as usual. They're on the 3rd fret of the B and E string. Now, what I use this chord for is to walk down from G to E minor. So like I play a G chord. D over F sharp and then E minor 7, okay? Or if I'm walking back from E minor to G, okay? And on some songs you'll just see that chord there instead of having a D, they'll just have it a D over F sharp if they're going from G to E minor 7. So to go between the two, one thing I visualize here is D over F sharp. These 2 fingers are split. There's 2 strings in between. You're going to just take your fingers and put those in the two strings in between for your E minor 7. And so for the E minor 7, you basically just split those 2 fingers for the D over F sharp. That's something visually that just helped me kind of remember. Split, bring them together, split, bring them together. And again, these 2 fingers do not move. They stay the same. So G, I'm going to play real quick. G, D over F sharp, going to E minor, D, and then C. I'm walking it all the way down, basically, okay? And this is a chord progression to a song, I Give Myself Away, if you're familiar with that. But G, D over F sharp, E minor 7. All right, then we're going to go to your D, and then C, okay? Now, practice these chords, use them in going back and forth in different combinations and stuff to help you learn the movements, and then you can start making up your own songs or playing other songs like I Give Myself Away. So those are the basic chords in the key of G. Thank you for watching this video.